You ever notice how the more you try to explain yourself, the less she seems to feel it? Yeah, that's not an accident. Most men are taught the wrong game. We're told communication is everything. Talk more. Explain your feelings. Clear misunderstandings with words. But here's the truth nobody says out loud. In attraction, clarity doesn't create desire. Mystery does. And the man who learns to say less often ends up being heard the most. It usually hits you in a quiet moment. You've sent that long text. You've explained your intentions. You've tried to reassure her, convince her, fix things, and she replies with something dry like an okay. Got it. Cool. That's when it stings. Because deep down, you said everything and somehow it meant nothing. Here's where most guys go wrong. They think more words are more connection. But in reality, more words are less tension. And tension is what creates attraction. Think about it like this. When you first meet a woman, you don't know everything about her. There's curiosity, there's a little uncertainty, there's space, that's where attraction breathes. But the moment you start over-explaining yourself, you remove the mystery, you answer questions she didn't even ask. You give certainty where uncertainty was working in your favor, and suddenly, the energy shifts. Let's be honest. You don't over-explain because you love talking. You do it because you want control. You want to control how she sees you. You want to control how she feels about you. You want to prevent misunderstandings before they happen. So you talk more, explain more, justify more. But here's the irony. The more you try to control the outcome, the less attractive you become. Because calm, grounded men don't rush to explain themselves. They trust their presence. There's something different about a man who doesn't feel the need to fill every silence. He listens more than he speaks. He answers directly, but not excessively. He lets moments breathe, and when he does speak, it carries weight. Because it's not constant, it's intentional. Think about it. If someone talks nonstop, you start tuning them out. But when someone speaks selectively, you lean in. You pay attention. That's the power of saying less. Let's take a simple situation. She takes hours to reply. Most guys, they start spiraling. They send another message, then another, then maybe did I say something wrong? Now the energy is gone. You're no longer the man she was curious about. You're the man seeking reassurance. But a man who understands the power of saying less, he sends one message and lives his life. No follow-up pressure, no emotional chasing. And here's what happens next. Either she comes back with energy or she doesn't, but either way, he keeps his dignity. Silence isn't weakness. It's controlled strength. When you don't react immediately, when you don't jump to explain yourself, when you don't chase every emotional fluctuation, you communicate something powerful. I'm not shaken. And that's attractive. Because stability is rare. Most people react. Very few remain grounded. Here's something most men don't understand. Women don't fall for what you tell them. They fall for what they feel and when they're not around you. And those feelings, they grow in space. If you're constantly talking, texting, explaining, you're not giving her space to think about you, to wonder about you, to miss you. You're answering every question before curiosity can even form. And without curiosity, there's no emotional build. This is the biggest fear that keeps men talking too much. What if she thinks I don't care? What if she misunderstands my silence? What if I lose her? But let's flip that. If you constantly explain yourself just to keep someone, are you really being chosen? Or are you just managing perception? A strong connection doesn't need constant clarification. It flows naturally. Masculine energy isn't loud, it's steady. It doesn't rush to prove, it doesn't rush to defend, it doesn't rush to react. It observes. It chooses when to speak, and when it does, it's clear, direct, final. That's the kind of presence that makes people feel something without needing words. Now let's be clear. This isn't about being cold, or distant, or emotionally unavailable. It's about precision. Say what needs to be said, not everything you feel. For example, instead of writing a paragraph explaining why you were busy, you say, "Had a packed day, what's up?" Done. No over-justifying, no emotional essay, just clarity. Here's the paradox. When you say less, people project more onto you. They try to figure you out, they think about what you meant, they replay your words. But when you say everything, there's nothing left to interpret. No mystery, no depth, just information. And information doesn't create attraction. Emotion does. Saying less also protects you, because you're not constantly exposing your emotional state. You're not reacting to every shift. You're not over-investing too early. You stay centered. And that detachment, it gives you power. Not power over her, but power over yourself. If you feel the need to constantly explain yourself, it usually means one thing: you're afraid of losing her. And fear always leaks through your words, even if you try to hide it. But when you're okay with outcomes, you don't feel the need to over-communicate. You let things unfold. And that calm confidence, it's felt instantly. The goal isn't to become silent. The goal is to become grounded, so that your words come from certainty, not anxiety. You stop trying to impress, you stop trying to convince, you stop trying to control, and instead, you just are. Picture this: same situation, same woman, same conversation, but this time, you're different. She tests you emotionally. You don't overreact. She pulls back slightly. You don't chase. She asks something vague. You respond simply. No long explanations, no emotional overflow, just calm presence. And suddenly, she leans in more. Not because you said more, but because you finally said less. Attraction isn't built on how much you say. It's built on how you make someone feel, in the spaces between your words. So the next time you feel the urge to explain everything, pause, say less, and let your presence do the talking.